stopped growing veggies and he started demanding change with a passionate message for the supermarkets and the government. I spoke to Ross a little early. Farmer Ross Marcelino just wanted to grow zucchinis and tomatoes, but he says the supermarkets were paying him less than it cost to produce them. So he...
You know, they're at the start of the food chain, but we're at the end of the food chain by just the returns that farmers get up here, whether it's zucchinis, tomatoes and stone fruit and across the board, you know, getting $1.60 a kilo for an item.
Imagine sending a warship into hostile waters with a supply line that's already compromised. That's exactly what most of us are doing when we grab vegetables at the wrong grocery store. What looks like a cheap deal is sabotaged by supply chains that leave produce aging in warehouses before it even hits shelves. Tonight, we'll expose which stores are failing this basic logistical mission and which ones are operating like a tight naval supply chain, fresh, fast, and reliable.
We said if action is not taken and we're just going to rely on imports, we are going to face shortages. So we have been warning about this. It is now being played out in real time.
If you walked up and down every single aisle at this greenhouse, you'd clock up almost 100 miles. It is vast, but even if it and every other grower in the country were running at full capacity on time, that action, the NFU and Jimmy tells me, includes helping growers with energy costs to at least try and make sure customers see greens like this, not this. Jay Akbar, 5 News.
If you care about wasting money or food, you'll want to see this intel. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video.
At the moment the plant is currently at this height, but we would have expected the plant to be at least double.
That delay was down to soaring energy prices. It means they aren't ready to pick up the slack. Speaking of, they grow millions of tomatoes and peppers at this greenhouse in Essex every year. The problem is, you're a little bit further behind your growing schedule than usual, aren't you?
Yes, we are this year, unfortunately, because we planted late.
Slack.
Now a plant in Spain starts to slow down. It's coming to the end of its cycle, but we can't pick up the momentum because we're running late. That's where we are with it.
Shoppers walk into a store thinking they're striking a bargain, but in reality, they're stuck inside the gears of a broken supply line. It's like watching a convoy of trucks tangle up before even leaving the base. The mission never starts, and what's supposed to arrive on time is already late, already compromised. Vegetables suffer the same fate when caught in these fragile systems. The outer layer looks normal, but deep down, the integrity of the supply chain is already fractured. The consumer steps forward unaware, left holding the end result of that failure. A fragile vegetable supply chain plays out no differently than a military convoy that grinds to a halt short of its destination. Imagine tanks waiting for fuel that never comes, or infantry left without ammunition when the front line is moving. The planning might look solid on paper, but delay after delay bleeds away capability before anything reaches the field. The same thing happens to produce that gets locked into massive national distribution networks. The sheer size and scale can feel impressive, but size without agility breaks the system. The head of lettuce doesn't care about scale. It only counts time, and every extra day drains away freshness. Many of the largest supermarket chains in the country run their supply lines with exactly this problem. They warehouse shipments in vast facilities, allowing vegetables to sit in cold storage for days or even weeks before they even make it to your local store. By the time that spinach, lettuce, or peppers land in your cart, they've already run most of their natural clock. You feel the difference once you open your fridge at home and see quality slip within hours, sometimes within a single day. It's not shopper error. It's the direct result of a poorly managed chain choking the produce before it arrives. Walmart provides one of the clearest examples. Customers often report buying lettuce that looks sturdy and green on the shelf, only to discover that after 24 hours at home, leaves have wilted or browned. A fresh mission has already failed. Like a supply unit delivering spoiled rations to soldiers expecting fuel for the fight. The presentation looks fine on the surface, but the inner clock has already spent its hours waiting in line deep inside that system. It's not a case of bad luck, it's structural, the outcome of a chain designed to emphasize scale rather than speed. Kroger runs into the same weakness. Walk into one of their stores and you'll often find spinach prepackaged and sealed off, presenting as neat and convenient. Yet hidden inside that packaging is another story. By the time some of these bags hit shelves, the leaves are already sagging, some even yellowing. It resembles crates of ammunition brought forward after months in a damp bunker. Corroded, unreliable, dangerous to trust in the middle of a mission. Glossy packaging hides it until customers peel it back at home. And by then, it's their problem to deal with. Pre-packaged produce plays a larger role in this entire flaw. Think of those sealed crates, stacked and sealed tight, moving forward as though nothing inside could ever go wrong. That outer wrap projects reliability. But when a shopper breaks the seal in their own kitchen, the damage is obvious. Rotting ends, slimy leaves, or humidity trapped inside like condensation in a broken weapons crate. The risk hides until it's too late. That betrayal sits heavy, not just in the wallet, but in the trust a customer places in that store's promise of freshness. What tears that trust apart further are signs that exaggerate local claim. The label might read farm fresh or even grown locally, yet the path of that tomato or cucumber may have stretched hundreds, even thousands of miles, stored and restocked across multiple states. Misleading signs work the same way faulty intelligence devastates a mission. If soldiers move forward with maps drawn from false reports, their confidence collapses at the first clash. When shoppers learn they can't trust even the labeling, the entire credibility of the store falls apart. These weaknesses beg the next question. If sprawling distribution grids and deceptive packaging undermine quality, where do strong alternatives exist? What does the efficient convoy look like in the world of produce? The answer lies not in cutting corners, but in designing a system like a disciplined operation, where throughput equals freshness and every delay is stripped out of the movement. Some grocery chains have discovered how to run supply tactics that mirror naval replenishment. Instead of letting their produce age inside distant warehouses, they work through vigilant local sourcing, faster turnover, and shorter supply paths. Efficiency runs the show. That's why names like H-E-B, Wegmans, and Publix stand out. They don't just warehouse, they maneuver. Their produce moves more like armored resupply vessels linking up at sea, quick, timed, and seamless. Where fragile chains stumble, theirs remain tight and guarded. And for the shopper standing in front of that produce section, the difference shows not in packaging, but in how long their vegetables outlast the weak supply line competitors. A grocery run is not just shopping, it is logistics. Weak stores operate like convoys that stall, wasting supplies long before they reach your table. Vegetables fail at home because they were already compromised in storage. Reliable stores, on the other hand, move product with precision, keeping shelves stocked like a well-planned mission. If freshness matters, choose H-E-B, Wegmans, or Publix. Each dollar spent at a weak chain is a lost supply run, and every weak link drains strength from your kitchen. The stronger line is obvious. The decision now sits in your hands with every cart you push.